Welcome to the Personal Pension Radio Podcast, where it's all about helping you complete your financial journey to retirement. Discover time-tested strategies and get unconventional insights into wealth building and retirement that actually work. Break away from the herd and go for the retirement you dream of. And now, here's your host, the income engineer, Kraig Strom.
All right, back on Personal Pension Radio. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Episode 165. And I am broadcasting from the Personal Pension Radio Workshop here in Southern California. Yes, I do have a full-blown wood shop in the backyard with my little podcast studio set up. Somebody asked me recently, a client asked me, what are you building? Actually, building birdhouses. I built a birdhouse for my mom for Mother's Day coming up. And someone at my Rotary Club heard and saw a picture of the birdhouse that I built for my mom. So they asked me if I would then build some birdhouses for the Lobster Fest event that my Rotary Club puts on every year. So this would be something that could be raffled off or silent auctioned or bid on to raise money for the Rotary Club. So if I ended up in birdhouse mode here in the Personal Pension Radio wood shop. My mission, though, as the income engineer, is to deliver that retirement conversation that is missing from the Wall Street mantra. And if you haven't heard me say it before, the Wall Street mantra is save more money. The answer to everything is save more money. Want more income in retirement? You've got to invest more money. If you've got a flat tire, it's clearly because you didn't invest enough money in your Wall Street account, right? You want to send your kid to college, you've got to invest more money, right? Yes, you do need to save and invest. There's no way around it. There is no way around the retirement dilemma that says if you really want a very nice lifestyle in retirement, you've got to save and you've got to invest. You definitely have to. The key that I'm getting at here is that retirement dream, maximum lifestyle income, is not driven by savings and investment alone. That's the key. There is an entire part of the education that is missing in most Wall Street-centric financial advisory conversations because the Wall Street machine is only focused on bringing more money into Wall Street. And I want to give you that behind-the-curtain point of view from a certified financial planner who's licensed in all the correct letters and numbers in the Wall Street machine. I am in that every day, all the time. Most advisors today have been educated by the same machine that taught me messaging that worked best for, you guessed it, Wall Street. CPAs and attorneys and bankers and insurance professionals, and the list goes on. These advisors, whether they've been taught directly or indirectly, they have learned the Wall Street advice path, right? It's always the same. It's always incomplete because the retirement journey is two parts. It is accumulating wealth and then distributing that wealth, distributing that income. And the rules of income distribution are very different than accumulation. And Wall Street's benefit is on the accumulation side and keeping more of it with them, right? That's the way it works. It's not insidious, somebody wanted to get that's terrible, Wall Street. No, that's Wall Street's business is getting more money into Wall Street. So they, of course, control the marketing message and the education machine that teaches financial advisors. So why not teach and focus on accumulating and putting more and more and more and keeping more in the Wall Street machine? It's just good business. I'm here to pull back the curtain, to pull back the kimono, if you will, on that Wall Street insider piece so that you can understand there's more to the retirement income conversation than just save more money. Now, I do want to jump in today. Today's going to be a short episode. I promised that I would not always have long runs. So today, I do want to jump in because I am all excited about this topic that I'm going to cover. Quick disclosure, I am not an attorney. I am not a certified public accountant. I am, however, a certified financial planner professional. Even though I've got all the right letters, all the right numbers, and I might sound kind of cool on the radio, the air here, don't act on advice that you hear on my show as if you're hearing stuff for you personally. And please don't act on things that you hear from financial entertainers like Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman. Oh my gosh, these people are not licensed. They are not regulated. They are not giving out sound advice in most cases. They give out some really terrible advice. Please meet with a qualified, hopefully certified financial planner professional before you actually act on anything. And if you'd like that CFP to be me, I would love it. I work with clients all over this great country of ours through the miracles of technology. I have face-to-face meetings with clients in Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, New York, all over, and including California, where I live. Now, please do that. If you're interested, send me an email at Kraig, Kraig, at kraigstrom.com. Kraig at kraigstrom.com, and we'll definitely connect. Now, quick deal of the week. I mentioned last week this deal of the week segment started. I actually got a lot of feedback on it, so I've included it in here now and then, and sometimes every week, sometimes every other week. But if you know me and if you listen to the show, I love to find a deal. Okay, I love to find a deal. I do not like to pay retail. So quick shout out to listener Jay for bringing this up and reminding me to stress this point. When you are looking at a new budget or trying to get a handle on your cash flow, that's one of the challenges that people face when it comes to saving for retirement is, man, my monthly cash flow, I seem to be coming to a break even or a negative every month. What do I do? Well, the first thing you've got to do, you have got to get a handle on your expenses. You've got to get intimately connected with your cash flow. And then you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look at stuff and say, well, wait a minute, do I really need that? And I'll give you one from my wife and I, for example. Okay, we don't have regular cable. We don't have Dish Network. We don't have DirecTV. We don't have Time Warner. We don't have a monthly cable television bill except for Netflix. We have Netflix, and we are members of Amazon Prime. So we have Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, whatever. We have plenty of TV to watch, and we get high-definition local channels. We're fine. We save, just depending on who you talk to, anywhere from $120 a month down to, some people pay $50, $60, $70 a month for cable. Some people pay $180. If you're struggling with cash flow, please seriously look at every place that you pay retail. Look at everything that you're spending money on. And for me, I look at things, and it's become a habit. I really don't like to pay full-blown retail. So this week's deal of the week was a simple thing. It was actually license plate frames for a couple of cars that I own. Now, people hear that and go, oh, you own a couple of cars? Well, no, I own 5 cars. I have a car dealership license as a hobby, a side hustle, something that I've been learning and working on for a couple of years, and I enjoy it. I'm a car guy, but I have a car dealership license, so I don't pay retail for cars, and I don't pay sales taxes, and I don't pay licensing taxes. I pay other fees and expenses, but I don't pay retail for cars. So this week's deal of the week was license plate frames. Such a simple thing. Why not just go to Walmart and buy one for $10, right? You go into Wally World and they're about $10 for a single metal silver license plate. That's kind of simple. Well, I am not that guy. I just can't do it. I practice what I preach as much as I can because it's inevitable. You end up, you can't do it all the time, I guess, is what I'm saying. But what I did was I was standing there at Walmart. I had done my grocery shopping and stuff, and I remembered, hey, I need to get a couple of license plate frames because I have a couple of cars that are ready for sale, and I like to put a clean silver chrome license plate on there with my dealership plate, so a little bit of advertising when the car is sold. And I walked over to the automotive department, and I'm looking at this thing, and it was about $10. And I'm like, $20 to put, license plate frames on these two cars. And I thought, I pulled up my iPhone app called AliExpress. It's a company, actually, it's an app that's connected through the Alibaba company, which is the big website where you can buy stuff direct from manufacturers. So you could buy 100 license plates if you want, but I don't really need 100 license plates from the manufacturer. But AliExpress is where those manufacturers sell their product direct to the consumer. And I pulled it up, and sure enough, I found a company on AliExpress very easily, by the way. I didn't have to, shop for 2 hours to save money on this thing. Remember, $10 for one of them at Wally World. And I pulled up AliExpress, and I found a 2-pack for $8.43 with free shipping. $8.43 for two of them. That's $4.21 a piece. I saved almost 58%. 58% less expensive by purchasing them on my iPhone at Walmart. Folks, don't pay retail. You're wondering where all your money goes at the end of the month. Double check yourself on what you're just simply paying retail for, right? So please keep that in mind. I also share this. We go out to dinner infrequently, but when we do, my fantastic wife, who happens to be having a birthday today, she won't listen to this episode, but I'll still say happy birthday to my sweetheart. My fantastic wife inevitably has a coupon for the restaurant where we're going. She's not a crazy coupon clipper because we really don't spend that much on groceries in general, but and by the way, crazy coupon clippers, I love you. Awesome. We just don't have the bandwidth or the major need to save that much on the coupon clipping activity. We don't buy that much at the grocery store. We don't have kids at home, etc. at this point. But when we go out to eat, we inevitably have a coupon because my wife is awesome. Now, that's it. Don't pay retail. Get your AliExpress. Get your iPhone and save some money for a change. Now, watch your step. Segment 1. Last week, I reminded you to pay attention to the motivations behind the advice. And I want to remind you again, because today's segment, the second segment, listener questions and items that come up from clients, it actually follows in the same path as last week. So I got to remind you, pay attention to the bias of the financial advisor that you're talking to, right? Pay attention to the bias. And by the way, the bias is okay. Everybody has them, okay? If you have someone you're talking to that makes a commission, they have a bias on working on products that might pay them a higher commission. If you have somebody that works on a fee based on assets under management, they charge an investment account fee. They have a bias. They want more investment assets. If you have somebody that only charges a flat fee, they're going to have a bias. They need to get more flat fee clients, and they can't take too long with you. They got to go get more fee only. Now, a fee-based advisor, that's where I fall. I believe that when appropriate, I'll make a commission on a product. I believe that if I'm going to do investment management, maybe I'll make a percentage of investments. I believe also that sometimes I just need to charge someone a fee because there's going to be a lot of work involved and there's no opportunities or other places that I'm going to get compensated. So I will charge a flat fee. A fee-based advisor has a bias, I suppose, to be a fee-based advisor. They might have a bias. I guess I would have a bias if anybody asked me that, where would I make more money? Well, I would rather make more money in the area of, for example, combining commission-based and assets under management-based and fee-based. I'd rather meet more clients that I have an opportunity to be comprehensive with than to focus solely on one thing. I really like the opportunity that I have to be able to look at multiple different ways that I'm going to work through compensation options with clients rather than just one singular way. The moral of the story, number one, number two, number three, every day is just pay attention to the bias. Ask questions. Look for it. Ask your advisor where their bias is. If they can't just look you in the eye and tell you that, hey, here's my bias, then, they're not being honest with themselves. Maybe they're not being honest with your situation, okay? And finally, another reminder, freeze your credit. My gosh, people still don't listen to this. Thank you to those of you listeners who have sent your email requesting the credit freeze information. I will send that out via email. What I'm talking about is if you want the 3 website links for credit freeze, please send me an email, Kraig with a K at kraigstrom.com. Kraig with a K, KraigStrom.com, and just say credit freeze in your subject line, and I'll send you an email back. I've got the links. It's not expensive. It is really a solid way to protect yourself. Now, last week in segment 2, I ranted a bit on protecting your family castle. Right? I shared the story of a friend of mine who had encouraged one of his clients to spend an extra $3,700 on insurance for his collectible artwork, etc. And she said no. She said no. And when the hurricanes came, it probably cost her, $3 or $4 or $5 million in damages to her artwork and collections. And she didn't have any insurance because she was too cheap to pay $3,700 extra on her $5 million condo. People, don't scrimp on protection, right? If you wear your seatbelt and you wear your helmet while riding motorcycles, you put your kids in car seats, you look both ways when you cross the street, right? Stuff happens. Make sure you've got the right amount of coverage. And don't shop for cheap insurance. Shop for the right coverage first, okay? Now this week, this is my rant. Just because it's in a book doesn't mean that it's gospel or, it's in a book, so it's special. Let me give you a little heads up, okay? Because one of my listeners mentioned a book that I had not yet read. However, I will say this. Yeah, I've already read that book, right? But now I have read that book. The title of the book is called The Power of Zero. The Power of Zero, and by David McKnight. So, The Power of Zero, and here's the subheading: How to Get to the 0% Tax Bracket and Transform Your Retirement. Man, that sounds awesome. How to get to the 0% tax bracket and transform your retirement. Okay, here's the thing. This book is specifically a sales product. It is a marketing and sales product. It is the anchor piece of a marketing plan. That's what it is, okay? You have to understand that. If you look up the author, one of the other books that he writes is another book specifically sold to financial advisors on how to sell more of the financial solution inside the book Power of Zero. If you look it up, I agree with a good deal of everything that Mr. McKnight says in the book, but again, look at the bias. By the way, I'm not disagreeing in most of the pieces of the book and the premise of the book. What I'm saying is you've got to understand, you've got to take a look at it and go, whoa. Just because it's in a book doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's something special, but that's what people believe in so many times that I've talked to people, okay? How you structure your retirement savings so that income will be tax-free in retirement, well, that's an excellent topic. I love the topic. But here's the inside piece, okay? The whole point of the book is to sell something called a LIRP. You saw it in the title of the podcast, a LIRP, L-I-R-P. What is that? It is a life insurance retirement plan. So Mr. McKnight, like I said, has written several books, including a book focused entirely on financial advisors, using his book as a marketing pitch to sell more LIRP, life insurance retirement plans. Okay? For those of you who work with me and you've listened to this show, you know that I am a big fan of cash value, dividend paying, mutual whole life insurance. Boy, that's a lot. That is a mouthful. Cash value, dividend paying, mutual whole life insurance is a very specific type of life insurance. It's really the deep end of the pool, and it is the type of life insurance that banks and billionaires own. I mean, this is the stuff, right? Now, it is not a solution, but a part of a strategy. In my world, in my retirement income planning, life insurance is part of a strategy. It is not generally a standalone solution to something by itself. And done right, dividend-paying mutual whole life can be a great alternative to a Roth IRA, and it can be an excellent standalone financial product. The LIRP, the LIRP marketing pitch, focuses on cash value life insurance as a product silo to be used for withdrawals in retirement. And yes, done right, they can be withdrawals that are income tax free in retirement. Zero tax. Absolutely. For sure. That's okay. I personally intend to use my whole life insurance policies as a way to add additional income in my own personal retirement. I absolutely plan on that for sure. But the LIRP, the LIRP sales pitch misses the power of balancing life insurance death benefits with other retirement assets and how you make income decisions with those assets. Those retirement income assets and how you draw income from them is critical. Using life insurance as part of an income strategy, things like the death benefit, allowing you to make other income choices with 401k and other investment decisions, is huge. The strategy of how everything is connected is really where the most important teaching in retirement income planning is missing on the average advisor's conversation, right? That's the key. These books, like Mr. McKnight's books, I've seen them before. Absolutely. I've just never written one. Maybe I should. Maybe I would have made more money if I'd written a book that to sell more LIRPs, life insurance retirement plans. My problem, though, is that advisors bastardize these books. Yes, I hope that's not too bad a word to use. I don't know what else to say. They manipulate the book or the purpose of the book, and they use these books as the matter of fact to sell the wrong kind of cash value life insurance. That's the part that frustrates me, that these books are being used to sell and pitch life insurance as a silo, as a product. It's not integrated truly into a retirement income plan. And there are certain types of cash value life insurance, like indexed universal life insurance and, investment type life insurance, that they have a great sales pitch. And then when you add a book like this on top of it, it can be very compelling. So if you have been sold a LIRP, a life insurance retirement plan, or if you have been pitched a LIRP, you might want to talk to me before you head any further down that particular road. I'll just say this. I will offer up my biases, my recommendations, my insight into what you might have been sold, what you might be pitched, and you can get my perspective. And I'll tell you this, it is often very different than the ones in the book, right? So please do that. Send me a note. Kraig at kraigstrom.com. Maybe a subject line that says, I'm not sure if I should LIRP, right? Something. Don't just head down the road blindly. If you have an investment type life insurance policy, if you have an indexed life insurance policy, let's talk. Trust me, you want to know this sooner than later. Now, please don't forget to check out my Freeway series videos on my LinkedIn and Facebook. It's an indeterminate length series. When I'm ever sitting in traffic, I do record some short videos that I post out on my LinkedIn. You can check that out. Now, quick retirement income reminder. We just talked about this, but I want to remind you. The Wall Street income plan for retirement runs off something called the 4% rule. So do the math. If you've got $500,000 in your 401k, the typical Wall Street advisor is going to say, you shouldn't take more than 4% of that out to start your retirement. Congratulations, $20,000. Well, there's about an 88% chance that that'll work. There's a 12% chance that that won't work. The truth is that the correct number sometimes for some people is actually only 3 or 3.5%. On that note, I'm encouraging everybody today, contact me. Get a comprehensive retirement income analysis, right? Make sure that you really understand what you're up against. That when I do this for clients and listeners, there really is the opportunity to change your direction. As much as 60 or 70 or 90% more retirement income by actually putting a strategy in place today and moving forward. Get your retirement income analysis done. Send me an email, Kraig at kraigstrom.com, income analysis in your subject line. Let's talk sooner than later. That's going to wrap it up today. Thank you so much for listening. Take action. Share this with your friends. Please talk about it. Ask questions. Keep the questions coming. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to the Personal Pension Radio Podcast. If you missed anything during the show, that's okay. We took the notes for you. Check the show notes for links, offers, and a full transcript. And don't forget to head over to personalpensionradio.com and download your free retirement income report. While you are there, we would appreciate some iTunes love. Please leave us a fantastic rating on iTunes by going to personalpensionradio.com/iTunes. Thanks again for listening.
Now for the disclosure. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not intended for solicitation, sale or purchase of any security or financial product. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and your tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed here. The term personal pension refers to a marketing name designed to educate future retirees and retirees about the economic principles behind creating their own pension-like income. The term personal pension is not intended to be confused with a defined benefit pension plan offered by an employer or by a government entity.